Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all of the witnesses for being here this morning. Dr. Hardig, I think I'm bothered by the fact that you don't recognize that there's a problem. You think that the exhibits that you're putting forward in the museum are wholly acceptable, even though you're being questioned about many of them. I want to read a statement, actually a comment, that was posted on an AP article about your testimony yesterday to the Oversight Committee. This is user man5312, and the comment is this: interesting timing related to this article. I took my family to Washington, D.C. a week ago, and we spent 3 hours at this particular museum. We can attest that it was very engaging, but there were times when we had to chuckle at some of the overt attempts to engage and shine light on the personal failings of the founding fathers. Basically, overcorrections in both subtle and obtuse ways. As a common sense person, we could clearly see the hand of liberal politics at work. So to claim that executive leadership is focused on delivering an unbiased presentation, my family would disagree. This is not a committee, a partisan committee. This is somebody that has been to your museum in the last couple of weeks and has pointed out the failings of some of the exhibits that you claim to be unbiased on. Director, yesterday you refused to answer a question from my colleague about whether or not you think it is appropriate for the museum to display sexually suggestive imagery near youth content. I want to give you another chance to answer that question. Is it appropriate to house this type of material near youth content, yes or no? Yes or no?
Which content, ma'am?
Sexually explicit material near youth content. Is this appropriate?
So
the answer is yes or no.
I understand your question, ma'am. So
And what and your response is?
Especially the issue of gender.
So you can't answer the question.
I can absolutely answer the question.
It's a yes or no answer.
The issue of gender is at the front of many Americans today.
Sexually explicit material should never be near youth content. The answer should be no.
Ma'am.
The Smithsonian has hosted drag shows with some specifically targeted intellectual disabilities in the past. Were you engaged in the planning of any of this programming? Yes or no?
We have not held, to the best of my knowledge, at the National Museum of
So no.
American History, a drag, what was it, a drag show, a drag story time? What were you asking me?
It was a drag show. Are you saying yes or no? Okay, let me move on. I'm limited in time. Yesterday, you told the committee that you needed to consult with your general counsel about 603 processes. This is a review process that you go through for individual exhibits. Why can't you be transparent, not only with the committee here, but with your own board about what the 603 process is and how many exhibits you have reviewed and how many that you have actually revised content for? Why are you unwilling to give us that information?
Oh, ma'am, I'm very willing. Would you like me to proceed?
I would like you to answer why you need a general counsel to review that before you provide that information to your own board.
So, ma'am, I believe yesterday that I shared kind of the quick outlines of the 603 process, and I'm happy to go into them again.
I would like you to submit to this committee a list of all of the 603 reviews that have happened in the past 2 years of all of the exhibits in your museum and the revisions that have been made to any of the exhibits per the requirements of the 603 review.
Absolutely, ma'am. We adhered to the 603 process that was outlined first in 1995, revised in 2021.
Which is why I'm confused as to why the answer to your question yesterday would not have been, sure, I'm happy to provide that information, rather than, no, I need to get my general counsel, legal, to look at the information before I provide it to the board or to a committee.
To the Board of Regents or to the committee?
The board that oversees your museum.
The board that oversees my museum
Has asked you for the 603 process and has been unable to get that information. Lastly, I just want to say the OIG recommended tightening committee procedures and mandatory periodic training for personnel involved in content development. Have you instituted that change?
Are you speaking of the June 30th?
That is
IGS
correct.
report, ma'am? Yes.
I would like a list of the changes that have been implemented based on that OIG's recommendation report.
We're happy to get back to you, ma'am.
Thank you. And with that, I yield, Mr. Chairman.